Hi there, how are you? Sorry about that. Something happened, had to start over. So here I am again, okay? So, how's everyone? Hopefully, you're doing well. And for the weekend, I thought I'd give us something good to think about, okay? All right. Desire, fuel for success. How to keep it alive and burning strong. I don't think I've ever discussed desire in this setting, this particular context, because it kind of personifies desire. So, let's get into it, okay? All right. What is it that makes one man or woman go where others don't dare tread, and that keeps them going on even when the odds seem so insurmountable? When others around them expect the worst, and obstacle upon obstacle cause them to wonder if perhaps, just perhaps, everybody might be right and they might just be crazy. It says, that is what is called desire. Desire is one of the strongest emotions and one of the greatest forces man has ever known. When harnessed properly, it will give you everything you have ever wanted. Desire is the fuel for success. It says, just as a car or any other automobile needs fuel to keep going, a person's desire is what drives him or her and will ultimately determine if he or she will hold that prize in their hand and win the race. It says the thing that determines why the one person does and the other person doesn't is not physical ability or the lack thereof, but desire and or the absence thereof. So it's not the physical ability, but it's the desire that they have or don't have, right? It is said, where there is a will, there is a way. Now we've heard that many times. Where there's a will, there's a way. But it says, what isn't said is that the will doesn't exist by itself or of itself. It says it is fueled by desire. If you have lost your desire for whatever it is that you want, you've already lost the race. And then it says, desire doesn't reason or justify. All it wants is satisfaction. It is not concerned with how you bring it about. So that's what I thought was interesting, the personification of desire. It says, it doesn't reason or justify. It just wants what it wants, right? Doesn't care how you bring it about. Just satisfy that desire. Then it says, desire, like most things, is not something you're born with. It is a force and power which can be induced through the senses, such as sight, hearing, smell. And then it says, let's look at an example. It says, when you see a beautiful man or woman, it does something to you. It triggers a power or force that will either die a natural death or it will become a raging fire. So I don't know if you ever had that experience, to see someone that, you just want to have or get to know, right? It says, it depends on what you do with it from that point onward, whether it becomes a raging fire or whether it just dies out naturally. It says, now, we're using this example of being attracted to either man or woman, but the desire is not limited to that. It says you can desire a big house, a car, a desire to travel the world. However, this will not mean much until you crystallize this desire into something tangible, something you can see, hear, smell, or touch. It says, so to induce desire for whatever it is that you want, you have to introduce the object of your desire to your senses, right? You have to either see it, touch it, smell it, something like that's tangible, right? It says the more you see something, the stronger your desire for that thing will become. Let's take an example of the beautiful man or woman again. It says, if he or she has made enough of an impression on you, you would want to see that person again, right? Yeah. It says, but if you leave it to chance, you may or may not see him or her again. And what's going to happen then? It says, in the event that you don't, the feelings will likely die a natural death. You just lose it out of your mind, right? Because you don't see it all the time. It's not tangible anymore, right? But let's say you see that person again and again. What do you think will happen? It says, right, something's going to happen. It says the feelings you have will become stronger. Yeah. So what you need to do then is to introduce the object of your desire to your senses, right? Not once or twice, but again and again and again, right? It says, if you can physically touch and smell and experience the object of your desire, suppose it's not a person, right? Suppose it's a thing. It says, if you desire wealth, go to the places that are symbols of wealth and get the feeling of wealth. Now, this can be places like expensive restaurants or 5-star hotels. It says, if you can afford it, book a room or a suite, even if you just go there for one night, but experience it, that wealth, right? What it feels like. It says, if you don't have a lot of cash, just go there to the restaurant and book a table, order a cup of coffee, or something else that's not too expensive. And it says, we're sure you're getting the picture, right? Yes. Just experience it, right? It says, do this over and over and over again. And you'll find that your desire gets stronger and stronger. Makes sense, right? Yeah. You can apply this to anything, and you will find that your desire burns stronger than ever. It says, if you know someone who's wealthy, approach the person and offer to assist with anything free of charge. It says, most people will appreciate this gesture, and some might even take you along to places that they go, and may even introduce you to their circle of friends, so you can really experience the wealth that you desire, right? It says, alternatively, go to a dealership that sells expensive cars and just go to the showroom and sit in it, right? And experience the feeling of wealth by touching the leather, the wood, whatever's inside there. Say, smell it. And then it says you can do this as often as you like, right? You can just go there, sit in the car. It says the more you do it, the higher your desire will be. It says do all of this in addition to your other efforts to accomplish your goal. That's a very important point. Now, if you cannot physically go to the places that we just mentioned, you can get to these places and objects to come to you. It says looking at pictures is another good way to increase your desire. And it doesn't cost you anything other than a little effort by going to get the magazines or whatever to look at the pictures, right? Because it says that lots of things that you can do. And like we noticed before, our subconscious mind, it doesn't know the difference between a real or imagined experience. It doesn't know the difference. It says it will accept whatever is imprinted upon it. And it will start attracting that condition in terms of the people and circumstances that you need to satisfy your desire. Remember, we talked about that before. It doesn't really know what's real or what isn't. Like when you think of the lemon, you start to squint, right? Because it thinks it's there, even though it isn't, right? But it's in your mind, so it thinks it's there. Okay. It says there are thousands of magazines that have pictures of the object that you desire. Here's what you can do. And I'm sure you probably heard of that before, making a vision board. Yeah. It says cut out some of the pictures that vividly depict the thing that you want and paste it all over your room, all over your bathroom, your bedroom, on the refrigerator, wherever you see it. The first thing that you see in the morning and the last thing that you see at night. Okay. And there's one final thought. It says, desire alone will not accomplish your goals for you. It is just the fuel. It says, imagine a car with fuel but no engine. Won't go anywhere. Or a car that has fuel and an engine but no wheels. Still won't go anywhere. It says, the same goes for someone who only has desire. It says, this, by the way, describes about 90% of all the people in the world who only have desire for things, but they're not prepared to do what it takes to get what they want. And remember the other important point it said, do all of this in addition to your other efforts to accomplish your goal. So your desire is great because it gets you going, right? That's your fuel. But you got to have a plan too. You got to have something in place so that you can get to what you want, right? So I thought that was interesting. Even though I know about desire and I have a vision board. I've made one before, right? Maybe you have too. But then what else do you need, right? Even though desire is very, very important because that's what keeps you going, motivates you, right? I want this, right? Especially if you keep going like it says, to touch it, smell it, see it. But then you got to have the other things too, right? Put forth the effort, have a plan, and to reach that goal, right? So I thought that was interesting because it kind of personified the desire. It doesn't care how you do it, just satisfy it, right? Okay. I thought you find it interesting. Hopefully you found this interesting as I did, okay? And gives you something to think about over the weekend now, okay? All right. Well, I hope you enjoy your weekend. Do something fun. Remember, life is not all serious, okay? And maybe something you can do. If you desire a new car, go sit in it. See what it feels like. Go look at a house, right? Go to an open house if that's what your desire is. Okay? All right. Well, you have a great day, the rest of the day, and have a great weekend. And then we'll talk next week. All right. Take care.